I should have seen it coming. But when you're 17 and still foolish enough to believe your parents might finally choose you, just once, you let yourself hope. That hope died on the morning of my 18th birthday, when my mother cancelled my party to comfort my sister over a boy who didn't text her back. Let me back up. My name is Paige Keller, and I've spent my entire life as the supporting character in someone else's story. That someone is my older sister, Bethany. 23 years old, studying communications at Northwestern, and blessed with a kind of beauty that makes strangers stop and stare. Long auburn hair, green eyes, a smile that could sell toothpaste. But more than that, she has this gift, this terrible, exhausting gift, of making every feeling she has seem like a 5-alarm fire. And my parents? They're the volunteer firefighters who never clock out. Growing up, I learned early that my needs were negotiable. Piano recital on the same day as Bethany's college tour? Would leave my recital at intermission. My 16th birthday dinner? Cut short because Bethany got into a fight with her roommate and needed Mom and Dad to drive 3 hours to campus immediately. My high school graduation? Bethany had just broken up with her boyfriend of 2 months, so the celebration dinner became a family healing session where I sat quietly eating breadsticks while she ugly cried into my father's shoulder. I never complained. Not really. What was the point? Complaining would just make me seem petty, jealous, bitter. So I stayed quiet, got good grades, worked part-time at the Riverside Public Library, and saved every dollar I earned. I told myself it was temporary. That once I turned 18, things would be different. I was planning to go to Portland Community College, nothing fancy, but it was mine. A fresh start. A place where I wasn't Bethany's little sister or the quiet one. Just Paige. But first, I wanted one thing. One single day that belonged to me. My 18th birthday. 3 weeks before the date, I sat my parents down in our living room in Cedar Hills. Our house is nice, not wealthy, but comfortable. My dad, Paul, works as an operations manager at a manufacturing plant. My mom, Diane, is a part-time dental hygienist. They're good people. I need you to understand that. They're not monsters. They're just blind. I don't want anything big, I told them, hands folded in my lap. Just a small dinner in the backyard. Maybe 10 people. I'll help with everything. I just want one day. My mother's face lit up. Oh, honey, of course. We'll make it special. I promise. My dad nodded enthusiastically. Absolutely. You deserve it, kiddo. I felt something dangerous bloom in my chest. Hope. For 3 weeks, I planned. I picked out a menu, nothing fancy, just burgers and my favorite strawberry shortcake from Sullivan's Bakery. I invited my closest friends, Natalie, Amber, and Chloe from the library, plus 2 girls from my AP literature class. I bought a new sundress, yellow, with tiny white flowers. I even made a playlist. Bethany was supposed to be at Northwestern. Her spring semester didn't end for another week. I thought I was safe. Then, for days before my birthday, she came home early. I heard her car pull into the driveway, that ridiculous white Audi convertible my parents bought her for graduation, and my stomach dropped. She burst through the front door like a hurricane, designer luggage in tow, sunglasses perched on her head despite the Oregon rain. Surprise, she announced, arms spread wide. My mother rushed from the kitchen, dish towel still in hand. Bethy, what are you doing home? I needed a mental health break, Bethany said dramatically, collapsing onto our sofa. Campus is so toxic right now. Everyone's so fake. My father appeared from his home office. Is everything okay, sweetheart? And just like that, the energy in the house shifted. It always did when Bethany arrived. The air became charged, vibrating with the potential for crisis. I stood in the hallway, invisible, watching my parents orbit around her like she was the sun. That's when I knew. Deep in my bones, I knew my birthday was already over. I woke up on my 18th birthday to complete silence. Not the peaceful kind, the ominous kind. The kind that makes your skin prickle because you know something's wrong but you can't name it yet. It was 7:43 a.m. The party was supposed to start at 5 that evening. I lay in bed for a moment, staring at my ceiling with its glow-in-the-dark stars I'd put up in 6th grade and never taken down. Today was supposed to be different. Today, I was legally an adult. Today was mine. I got dressed slowly, pulling on jeans and a t-shirt, saving the yellow sundress for later. When I came downstairs, I expected to smell coffee, maybe pancakes. My mom usually went all out on birthdays. Instead, I found chaos. Bethany was sitting on the kitchen floor, not crying yet, but building up to it. That's the thing about my sister's breakdowns. There's always a warm-up period. Heavy breathing, trembling hands, eyes getting progressively redder. My mother crouched beside her, one hand on her back. My father stood nearby, looking helpless and worried. What happened? I asked quietly from the doorway. No one answered me at first. Then my mother glanced up, and I saw it in her face, that expression I'd seen 100 times before. Guilt mixed with determination. The look that said, "I'm sorry, but you already know how this ends." "Paige, honey," she began carefully. "Your sister is going through something difficult right now." "What happened?" I repeated, my voice flatter this time. Bethany's breathing hitched. "Garrett, he cancelled on me." I waited for more. There had to be more. But that was it. That was the emergency. Garrett Whitmore was Bethany's boyfriend of 6 weeks, a finance bro from her college with slicked back hair and a collection of pastel polo shirts. They'd been planning to go to some wine tasting thing in Willamette Valley this weekend. "He cancelled," I said slowly, testing the words. "On the wine tasting." "It's not just that." Bethany's voice cracked, tears finally spilling over. "He said he needed space to think about us." "What does that even mean? Why do guys do this? Why does everyone leave me?" My mother rubbed her back in soothing circles. "Sure, sweetheart. It's okay. You're okay." My father caught my eye. "Paige, could you give us a minute? This is really hard for your sister." Something cold settled in my stomach. "It's my birthday." "I know, kiddo. And we'll celebrate. But right now, my party's in 9 hours. "We'll figure it out," my dad said, but he wasn't looking at me anymore. He was looking at Bethany, who had started that hyperventilating thing she does when she wants maximum attention. I turned and walked back upstairs. My hands weren't shaking. My eyes weren't burning. I felt weirdly calm, like I was floating 3 feet above my body, watching everything happen to someone else. I sat on my bed and waited. 20 minutes later, my mother knocked softly and entered without waiting for permission. She sat beside me, and I could smell her lavender hand lotion. "Paige, honey, I need you to understand something. You're cancelling my party." She flinched. "We are postponing it. Just for a week or 2. Your sister is in crisis. Over a cancelled date." "It's more than that. She's been struggling with her self-worth, and this rejection triggered something deeper. It's my 18th birthday." "I know. And I'm so sorry. But you're so strong, Paige. You always have been. You understand that sometimes we have to make sacrifices for family. Bethany needs us right now." "And I don't," I thought. "I never need you. Because I learned a long time ago that needing you is pointless." "When were you going to tell me?" I asked. My mother looked confused. "Tell you what?" "That you were cancelling. Were you going to wait until my friends showed up? Or were you just going to text them yourself?" Her face flushed. "I was going to call their parents this morning. To explain the family emergency." "There is no emergency. Bethany's boyfriend cancelled a date. That's not an emergency. That's life." "Paige." My mother's voice turned sharp. "I understand you're disappointed. But your sister is in pain. Real pain. And we need to support her. That's what family does." I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized she genuinely believed what she was saying. In her mind, this made perfect sense. Bethany's feelings were always more real, more valid, more urgent than mine. "Okay," I said quietly. My mother blinked, surprised by my easy agreement. "Okay. Yeah. Do what you need to do." She smiled with relief and pulled me into a hug I didn't return. "Thank you for understanding, sweetie. You're so mature. We'll make it up to you. I promise." After she left, I sat there for a long time. Then I pulled out my phone and started making a list. Not a list of things to do. A list of things to take. By noon, I'd heard my mother on the phone with 3 different people, explaining our family emergency. She used that phrase every time, family emergency, like it was a real thing and not a convenient lie to cover up the fact that my 18th birthday didn't matter enough to them. I stayed in my room, methodically going through my belongings. Clothes in one pile. Books in another. Important documents, birth certificate, social security card, vaccination records, in a folder. I worked quietly, efficiently, like I was packing for college instead of disappearing. Around 2 o'clock, Bethany knocked on my door and walked in without waiting. She was wearing one of my sweatshirts, the good one, the soft grey one from Powell's Books that I'd saved up to buy. "Hey," she said, leaning against my door frame. "Are you mad at me?" I looked at her. Really looked at her. She wasn't crying anymore. Her makeup was perfect. She'd clearly showered and styled her hair. She looked like someone going to brunch, not someone in crisis. Why would I be mad? I asked neutrally. Because of the party thing. I didn't ask them to cancel it. Postpone, I corrected. They postponed it. Right. Postpone. She walked further into my room, picking up things on my desk and putting them down. Garrett really hurt me, you know? And I needed Mom and Dad. You always need Mom and Dad. She laughed, like I'd made a joke. Well, yeah. That's what parents are for. I turned back to my closet. Is there something you wanted, Bethany? I just wanted to make sure we are okay. You're being weird. I'm fine. You don't seem fine. You seem, I don't know, cold. I pulled out my winter coat and laid it on the bed. I'm 18 today. I'm an adult. Adults don't throw tantrums when they're disappointed. The jab went right over her head. Exactly. See, this is why you're my favorite sister. You just get it. I'm your only sister, I thought. But I didn't say it out loud. Bethany left a few minutes later, taking my sweatshirt with her. At 4 o'clock, exactly when guests would have been arriving, I got a text from Natalie. Natalie, hey. Your mom called my mom and said there was a family emergency. Is everything okay? Do you want to reschedule? I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back. Me, everything's fine. Family stuff came up. I'll let you know about rescheduling. 3 more similar texts came in over the next hour. Each one felt like a small cut. By 5 o'clock, cake time, I was numb. I went downstairs. My parents were in the living room with Bethany, watching some romantic comedy she'd picked. There was popcorn. They were laughing. Oh, Paige. My mother noticed me. Do you want to watch with us? We could order pizza later. Make it a family night. No thanks, I said. I'm going to Grandma's. My father looked up. Grandma Ruth's? In Gresham? That's a bit of a drive, isn't it? I'll be fine. Will you be back for dinner? I looked at all 3 of them, my mother, my father, my sister, and saw how comfortable they looked. How natural. Like this was exactly where they were supposed to be, doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. Maybe, I lied. I'll text you. No one questioned it. No one asked why I was suddenly visiting my grandmother on my birthday. They were too absorbed in their movie, in their comfortable family bubble where Bethany's needs eclipsed everything else. I drove to Grandma Ruth's house in my 10-year-old Honda Civic, the car I'd bought myself with library money. It took 40 minutes. The whole way there, I waited to feel something. Anger. Sadness. Anything. But I just felt done. Grandma Ruth opened the door before I knocked. She's 72, sharp as a tack, with steel grey hair she keeps in a practical bob and eyes that miss nothing. Paige. She took one look at my face. Come in. I made it 3 steps inside before I started crying. Not dramatic sobbing like Bethany. Just quiet, exhausted tears that I'd been holding back for hours. Years, maybe. Grandma Ruth held me while I cried, not saying anything, just rubbing my back the way my mother should have done that morning. When I finally pulled away, She led me to her kitchen table and made chamomile tea without asking if I wanted any. "Tell me," she said simply. So I did. Everything. The cancelled party. The family emergency that wasn't. The 18 years of being second place. All of it spilled out in a messy, aching rush. When I finished, Grandma Ruth was quiet for a long moment. "What do you want to do?" she finally asked. "I want to leave. For the night. For good." She didn't look surprised. "Do they know?" "Not yet." "Will they try to stop you?" I thought about it. "No. They'll be upset I didn't handle it better. But they won't actually try to stop me. That would require them to notice I'm gone." Grandma Ruth reached across the table and took my hand. "You can stay here as long as you need. My spare room is yours." Just like that. Just like that. And that's when I knew I wasn't going back. I returned home at 11:47 p.m. The house was dark except for the flicker of the TV in the living room. Through the window, I could see my father asleep on the couch. No one had texted to ask where I was or when I'd be home. I parked down the street, not in the driveway. I didn't want anyone hearing my car and asking questions. Inside, the house was silent. I moved through it like a ghost, careful on the stairs that creaked. My bedroom door closed with barely a whisper. Then I got to work. I'd planned this during the drive back from Grandma Ruth's. No drama. No confrontation. No big speech. Just a quiet exit, like slipping out of a movie theater before the credits roll. 2 suitcases. That's all I'd allow myself. Anything more would be too obvious, too hard to move quickly. First suitcase. Clothes. I took only what I needed. Jeans, t-shirts, the yellow sundress I never got to wear, my work uniform from the library, my winter coat. I left behind anything Bethany had ever borrowed, which was more than I realized. Second suitcase. Everything else. Laptop, chargers, the showbox of photos from my childhood, the ones where I looked happy, before I understood my place in the family hierarchy. My favorite books. The journal I'd kept since freshman year. My social security card, birth certificate, and the envelope containing $3,847, every cent I'd saved from 3 years of part-time work. I worked methodically, without emotion. This wasn't an escape fueled by anger. It was a calculated exit from a life that had never quite fit. At 1:32 a.m., I sat at my desk and pulled out a piece of notebook paper. My hand hovered over it for several minutes. What do you say to parents who love you but don't see you? Who'd choose you if you needed them, but never believe you need them? I kept it simple. Mom and Dad. I'm 18 now. Legally an adult. I've decided to stay with Grandma Ruth for a while. I need some space to figure out what I want. I'm safe. I'm not in danger. I just need this. Don't look for me. Page. I read it 3 times, then placed it on my neatly made bed. I'd stripped the sheets and folded them at the foot. I didn't want them to think I'd left in some chaotic, emotional spiral. I wanted them to understand this was deliberate. At 2:14 a.m., I took one last look at my childhood bedroom. The glow-in-the-dark stars. The bookshelf I'd built with my dad when I was 12. The window seat where I'd spent countless hours reading, hiding, existing quietly while Bethany's drama echoed through the house. I felt nothing. No nostalgia.